Dear students, in this video I'm going to explain you about hire purchase with default and complete repossession. So when a hire purchaser has failed to pay one of the installments, he is going to be treated as a default hire purchaser. So in that case, as we all know, uh, the hire seller is going to take the possession of the asset. So there are two types of repossession. One is complete repossession and the other one is partial repossession. uh, before going to discuss about the accounting treatments under partial repossession and complete repossession, let us discuss what is default and repossession. So if the hire buyer fails to pay any installments in time, so it is called as default by the hire purchaser to pay the installment. As we discussed earlier, till the last payment of installment, the ownership of the asset lies in the hands of hire seller, and therefore before the last payment, if the hire buyer has failed to pay any of the installment, so in that case the hire seller has the right to repossess the asset. So in this case, what kind of what is the accounting treatment? So we will discuss in this video. So the repossession, as I told you earlier, may be a complete repossession or partial repossession. Discuss the journal entries in case of complete repossession of the goods sold. Okay, so the first one, in the years of the in each of the years previous to the year of default, all the usual entries how we were passing for a problem where there is no default and repossession, the same journal entries are supposed to be passed. But in the year of default and repossession, as usual, all the journal entries are supposed to be passed except the entry for payment of in the installment. Since the hire buyer has failed to pay the installment, so that journal entry is not going to appear in this case. Okay, now, so in case of default, as I told you earlier, the hire seller is going to take the possession of the asset. So in that case, what is the journal entry supposed to be passed? So since the hire seller is going to take the possession of the asset, the account of the hire seller is going to be closed. So for that, entry for transfer of entire balance in the hire seller account to the asset account. ಸೊ ಏನು ಹೈಯರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಅಸೆಟ್ಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಜರ್ನಲ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಟು ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. So here the entire balance in the higher seller's account is supposed to be transferred to the assets account. Okay, then after the transfer of the entire balance in the higher seller's account to the asset account, any balance left in the asset account should be transferred to profit and loss account. So if there is any balance left, that is going to be treated as a loss. So for that we have to pass a journal entry like profit and loss account data to asset account. So journal entries in the books of hire seller. So only these are the two adjustments required in case in the books of hire buyer. So in case of hire seller also, the first few journal entries, like before the default, all the journal entries how we were passing, the same journal entries are supposed to be passed. But in the year of default, as we discussed in the previous slide, since a hire seller is not going to receive any installment in case of default, so that journal entry is not going to appear here, but remaining all journal entries even in the year of default are supposed to be passed. Okay, so when the goods are taken by the hire seller, the hire purchaser is not required to pay the remaining balance to the hire seller, and hence the entry is supposed to be passed by the hire seller in the hire buyer's book is like a repossessed stock account data to hire purchaser's account. So here you have to open a new account called repossessed stock account. So repossessed stock account is debited and hire purchaser account is credited with the entire balance in the hire purchases account. Okay, so now the last journal entry, in case any expenses, sorry, not the last journal entry, in case any expenses incurred by the hire seller in repairing the repossessed stock. Okay, now since the hire buyer is going to take the possession of the asset which is there in the hands of hire buyer. Okay, now he can sell it later, but before selling it, if he has incurred any expenses in the form of, for example, repairs, so for that we have to pass a journal entry. The journal entry goes like this: repossessed stock account debtor to cash or bank account. So here the amount of expenses incurred in the repairing of the repossessed asset supposed to be written in front of repossessed stock and cash account. If the repossessed stock is sold by the hire seller, then in that case the journal entry is cash or bank account debtor to repossessed stock account. Now the last journal entry in this case, entry for transfer of profit or loss in sale of repossessed asset. So repossessed asset can be sold at profit or loss. So depends upon that we have to pass the last journal entry. If there is any profit, then repossessed stock account supposed to be debited and profit and loss account is to be credited with the amount of profit. Okay, if there is any loss, then profit and loss account is to be debited and repossessed stock account is to be credited with the amount of loss. Okay, now so till now we discussed about the accounting treatment in case of complete repossession of the asset. Now let us discuss the accounting treatment or accounting entries in the books of hire purchaser and hire seller in case if only a part of the goods are being repossessed by the only part of the assets are taken over by the hire seller. Okay, so in this case again, so the first journal till the year of default, all the journal entries like are similar, but in case of year of default and repossession, all the usual entries are supposed to be passed except the entry for payment of the installment of one particular asset or the asset which are being taken over by the, for which all the, sorry, in the year of default and repossession, all the usual entries are supposed to be passed except the entry for payment of the installment should be made. So now entry for the agreed value. Okay, suppose one or some of the assets are taken over by the hire seller. Now see that agreed value at which the assets are taken over by the hire seller, we have to pass a journal entry, and journal entry is hire seller's account debtor to assets account. So here the agreed value of the asset taken over by the hire seller is to be debited in front of hire seller's account and it should be credited to assets account. Then after adjustment for assets taken over and assets continued, if there is any balance in the asset account, and it should be transferred to profit and loss account, depends upon the situation. If there is any loss, then profit and loss account should be debited and asset account is to be credited, and if there is any profit, asset account is to be debited and profit and loss account is to be credited. Then entries in the books of hire seller. So in each of the years of previous to the year of default, all the usual entries are supposed to be passed. Then in the year of default and repossession, all the usual entries are required for the hire purchase except the entry for receipt of the installment. Okay, now so there should be no entry for receipt of the installment amount because it's not going to receive the installments here. Then for the entry for the part of the goods taken over by the hire seller, so here also repossessed stock account is a debtor to hire purchases account. So repossessed stock is debited with the agreed value of the goods taken over by the hire seller and hire purchases account is credited. So in case any expenses incurred by the hire seller, same journal entry how we have passed in the previous method, same journal entry is to be passed. Repossessed stock account is to be debited and cash account is to be credited with the amount of expenses incurred for repairing the asset, repossessed stock. Now the next journal entry, if the repossessed stock is sold, then cash account is debited, cash or bank account. The repossessed stock account is credited with the amount for which it is being sold. Then last one, entry for transfer of profit or loss in sale of the repossessed asset. Suppose if the repossessed asset is sold at a profit, then repossessed stock account is debited with the amount of profit, and profit and loss account is credited. And if there is a loss, then profit and loss account is debited and repossessed stock account is credited with the amount of